Welcome to another exciting Simpsons commentary. This time for Bart of Darkness, 1F22. Original air date September 4th, 1994. I'm Dave Merkin, executive producer and showrunner.
I'm Greg Daniels. I was on the writing staff at the time.
I'm Jim Reardon. I directed the episode.
I'm David Silverman, supervising director.
This is David S. Cohen, and I was another of the swarm of writers.
This is Matt Groening, creator of Urkel.
Oh, you're going to get sued now. That's what we've been waiting for. This episode was written by Mr. Dan McGrath, who did a really good job. It has a lot of really great stuff that he did in it. This is our big opening sequence, all about it being very hot. And I would have preferred this episode actually aired at the very beginning of the 6th season, but it was something that we did at the very end of the 5th season.
Well, this was
the holdover.
We were in production on this
at the
episode
time.
during the earthquake, the Northridge earthquake.
Oh, so this is one of the earthquake episodes.
Yeah, and the film
That's Jim
Roman,
Reardon talking, by the way, our brilliant director who also did an amazing job on this. Go ahead, Jim.
the film Roman building that we were doing in the studio had some major structural damage, and we had to move out for about 3 months and put us in temporary quarters. And as a result, there was a delay in production, and I think it actually benefited this show. We ended up having about a month longer to do this episode than I was accustomed to. And
I
think
remember having a huge argument that when they wanted to move you out, they said the building's unsafe. It could collapse anytime. I said, I don't care. We have a cartoon to do. We keep those people in there. We have to make people laugh.
But I felt fairly proud of this episode after about 5 years of directing. This was closer to what I was trying to achieve as a director than I had come before, and I realized that having the extra time really made a difference.
Really made the difference.
What made it different? What made it
You
different?
could just spend more time in little details, like getting when Bart gets off the couch and having the fabric of the couch stick to his skin.
Oh.
If you just giving a little extra time to lay out guys and going back and finessing everything. So I was late with every show I did after this.
Everybody learned their lesson after this episode. They were all late in shipping.
So basically, whenever there's a natural disaster in LA, the animators cheer, right?
Yes.
Yes,
They
yes.
use it as an
Running
excuse. Now
around
they're
in the
trying to
streets.
use anything. It was really hot, and we need extra time because
Actually, I remember the earthquake, climbing on the roof of my house and looking out over the city and seeing that all the lights were out, and I'm going, oh my God, I can blow deadlines this week. It is great. What an excuse.
I have a good Simpsons earthquake story, which is the day after the
Right before you
earthquake.
get there, I just want to say the Springfield Pool Mobile, and I asked this question around. This was based on there used to be a whip that would come around where I lived as a kid. In other words, it was a little, the ride where you get in the cars and they whip around at the end of the oval at the end, and you paid 10 cents, and it was on the back of a truck that had this cool fence around it, colorful fence, and you got on it and got on the ride for 10 cents, and then the truck would drive away, having kidnapped a couple of children.
I remember that a lot of these heat wave things were personal memories of various. Like I remember Dan McGrath, who grew up in Brooklyn, telling me about how when it got really hot in the, apartment, that they would do stuff like get in front of the fridge, and I
Right.
think a lot of these were.
Greg doesn't know anything about that being stinking rich from the time he was born. He just had
Yes.
people fanning. He has someone fanning him right now.
On the yacht in Newport, it sometimes got.
I think remember we all laughed. It's not really a joke, but Bart wearing his underpants instead of a swimsuit.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
there's
was-
another one. That's a great little detail.
It's a great little white trashy detail. So that's right. If you're wearing underwear instead of we consider you white trash. Please send your letters to Matt. I'm sorry, David.
Oh,
Take
here's
it
my
away.
fabulous earthquake story. The day after the earthquake, which was a weekend, I drove into the office to see if any destruction had happened. So I went into the new writers building where our offices are, which is like a 90-year-old decrepit shack. And all my books had fallen off the shelves and stuff. And while I was there, the building inspector came in to my office while I was there, and he started looking around, taking notes. And I said, well, is it safe to be here? And he took a minute, and he looked around, and he went, well, it's no more dangerous than it was before the earthquake.
I lost a lot of my bootleg Tijuana Bart Sanchez statuettes in the earthquake.
Oh.
They can never be
no.
replaced.
They're hard to replace.
Mexican construction in an earthquake.
We will rebuild.
What day did you come in after the earthquake, David?
It was a weekend. Was the earthquake on a Friday or?
No, I think it was on a Thursday or
Thursday.
something. And I remember the only staff members that came in, because I didn't come in, even though I was running the show, I figured everyone gets the idea that they shouldn't come in, and that I assume most of them were dead anyway. And Bill and Josh came in. They were the only ones. They came in and they hung around like for an hour till they kind of
I
figured
think I
it
actually
out.
came in on the weekend just to see what had happened.
Bart, is your pool ready yet?
I like that she calls him Mrs. Bart. You know his name. This, of course, if the kids come over, it's your job to make food for them all, which I found disturbing.
Isn't this the kind of thing that always gives you animators heart attacks when the script calls for every kid in town to be in every scene?
We're used to, but we're kind of used to it by now.
So then we got a callus on the heart now.
But I would have loved this to have been our last show. It just didn't work out timing-wise. Our last show right before summer. Instead, it was our last show, our first show coming back after summer on September 4th. So,
Hey, Bart, your epidermis is showing.
It is?
but people seem to like it anyway. It was
September 4th is like Labor Day.